Hello everyone, welcome back. Today let's complete the part 2 of SageMaker Get Started. In part 1, we created a AWS account. This is the step we completed. In part 2, we'll create a role, domain, and we'll also run a Get Started notebook. If you have created an AWS account, all you have to do is log in to AWS console using this URL. That's also then what we have to do is we have to, the moment you log in, you will see this screen. The moment with this URL when you log in, you will see this screen. Search for SageMaker. The moment you click on this SageMaker, so you will see this screen, SageMaker. Here I'll have to create two things. One is role, second is domain. So what is role? I have defined here. If you see PPT, so it's basically set of permissions which are required by SageMaker. So on behalf of you, it does those operations. For instance, reading a data from S3, writing data to S3. What is S3? S3 is a simple storage service. It's like a disk where you read the data from and write the data to. It's a scalable disk. So in a simple term, but it's a bigger terminology in the world of big data and then the world of cloud computing. But to explain you need a role. Additionally, you need a domain. Domain is nothing but collaborative space. So these two things you need to before you get into SageMaker. So to create a role and domain, there are many ways. The easiest way is this. I'll click on this. This will help me in creating both role and also domain. This is one way of creating. The moment you log into it, it will automatically create a domain and the user for you, a default user. This is one way of doing it. The second way is you click on domain. When you click on domain, it will bring to the same screen which you see here. It will bring to the same screen, and you will see here what is domain. Domain is, if you see, domain consists of Amazon Elastic File System. Basically, to store your code, to store temporary data, model files. Many of those it needs a space, right? So that's where domain contains. Domain also contains users. User will launch their apps like a when you start a notebook, so you launch a kernel. Behind the scene, you need a Docker image. For that, you create apps, right? Something which is running you there with the profile. That's nothing but app. So in this domain, you do all of these things. You can also share the notebooks with other users who are part of this domain. So this is what the domain is. It's a bigger terminology. So you can create a user through domain also. So when you click on this domain, right, when you click on, it will not allow as of now because it's already getting created. I have opened, when you click on this, create a domain directly. Let's say you come here directly and then create a domain. To create domain as well as user, you can do this. However, it will not allow. No, that's the reason I had already opened a screen before. So when you click on this, it will pop up the screen like this. So you can create in 1 minute, which will create a role. What is role? Identity and access management role. So basically, it's a role you create via I am with a policy as Amazon SageMaker full access policy. A lot of other stuff it does. There is one more way. This is for organization. If you have a corporate account, this is for that. But to get started, it's better to go with this approach. This is the second approach. The first easiest approach is you come here. The moment you log into the screen, the moment you log into SageMaker, you will get a simple screen, right? The left side, which you must have seen. The moment you log in, so you will see a screen. This screen. This is the screen which is getting started now. This is the first way. Second way is to come here and create a domain. Click on domain, which is creating now. That will again, in that domain, you will have two options: create a domain in 1 minute, and also you can create a domain this way. This is the second way. Third way is you can also, everything is pointing out to the same location. Third way is also you can create a role manually. You can create a manually role here. You can give the name, and you can also select the persona. Data scientist will have a limited access versus an MLOps guy. So you can have your own custom role as well. with your own persona, custom role setting, with your own some default settings you don't need, but you have your own settings, which will maybe, let's say, machine learning engineer who will have a intersection of access from data scientist and MLOps. MLOps is more on a operational side. Machine learning engineer is like a developer, so it sits between data scientist and MLOps guy. But again, it's again a separate debate. But it all put in nutshell, what I'm trying to say is you can also create a custom role. This is another way of creating a role. Once you create a role, you can create a domain. You can create a domain again. So this is this another way. You can also, if you can also create a domain from here. So here, if you see here, role, basically role, you can also create a role from here. So where you get a more control, like you want to have your own name. If you see, this is the one which I think yesterday I created, but it will have one more user here, one more user based on today's date. So you will get that, or some timestamp based on the timestamp. So you will get one more user here. Let's say you want to create your own user, you can choose creating, and then for what you are using, let's say SageMaker, and next you can choose the policies. Here is what the policy, what it says. I don't know what all things a user which you are creating can have access to. Read only, write, or many basically policies related to AWS. What are the services he can access? So allowed, these things are allowed, get pull, get push. All of these things are related to that user. This is another way of creating role, and then you have to create a domain once you create a. But underneath the one which we clicked on, it's basically going to. It is going to the same screen. Let me. Sorry, I'm navigating multiple times. It is navigating to the same place. The one which I clicked here at the moment after logging in. The moment I logged in, that this is the one which still is getting created. It is still pending. It will take time, little bit. Inside domain, you will have users, which is what it will create. Yeah, it is still getting created. Once you click the user, you will have apps inside this. Apps are like running a notebook. When you are running a notebook, let's say you build a churn model, you will see that those notebooks related to kernel is associated to that notebook. You will see here. So if you want to delete, so domain is chargeable. So they charge you amount for the domain to maintain the domain. So to delete domain, first you need to delete user. User is this. To delete user, you need to delete the apps. I'll show you. I'll repeat one more time. Domain, I'll repeat multiple times because this is chargeable. It's very important. You have to delete. End of this session, you will have to delete. You have to clean all the resources. First thing is you have to delete the domain. To delete the domain, you need to delete the user. To delete the user, how to delete the user? You will see, first you will see apps here. The end of the session, you will see apps here. You have to delete them, and then come to user, edit, and then delete the user. Here you will see delete the user. It will not be enabled unless you don't delete the apps. All right, it's okay. I'll show you what I'm trying to say. So now you have a user, now you have a domain. Now we are good to launch a studio. Studio is where your development happens. So unless you don't have a domain, it will not come. Domain and user, it will not come. If you directly come here studio, it will also tell you that you can create a domain and user from here also. So there are many ways. In nutshell, don't get confused. So either you go simply the moment you log in, you will see a screen here. So click on it, it will automatically get to know. And then you click on studio. Studio is the place where development happens. I just have to click on open studio. It will take little time. Till that time, I'll just tell you, Studio is the place. It's a IDE for machine learning development. Studio Lab is free one. This is free, but you need to request for the access. So it's a free, but it has a, you have to raise a request to get this access. You have limited access to perform some of the operations on SageMaker. That is the Studio Lab. Canvas is for business analyst who wants to do a machine learning. He knows the data visualization, but he doesn't want to go underneath of machine learning algorithm, but he wants to leverage. The Canvas is a service. RStudio is for our users. Tensor board is how model is getting converged. Like you can visualize, like a tensor board, if you know, similar to that. So you can visualize how the model is getting converged with the different parameters. So this is the to see it, but mostly you don't use as of now to get started. Profiler is for to check the CPU. You basically monitoring system, CPU, GPU utilization. Where is the bottleneck? This is the profiler. Let's see if this gets started. It is still creating. I'll meanwhile explain each and everything. So let's wait. It takes time, little while time in the beginning, but rest once it is done, so it's easy. Meanwhile, I'll show you the services. We are here. Domains are, you already know. Role manager is where you to create a role through IAM, with identity and access management. Images is it contains AWS has its own registry for. It's like if you know Docker. Docker Hub is a registry for storing Docker images. Similar to that, Amazon is their own registry, Amazon Elastic Container Registry, where you can give the URL. Let's say you have your own custom. You want to run a notebook along with some of the dependencies, some of the packages of your own organization. Let's say you can create that and then upload here and into the registry, and then load that image as part of your notebook. This is the place for that. Life cycle configuration, some of the environment related configurations, some of the boot up script. While starting your script, you need some configurations related stuff required for notebook to run. So this you can specify like a shell script, something like that. Dashboard is for same dashboard. You can see the activities related to it. This is the one which is the most important one nowadays. It has a foundational foundation model where quickly you can jumpstart. So this is the Facebook model, Llama. So if you want to leverage generative AI or large language models quickly, so you can use this. It's a quick start. These are old, again, the previously computer vision models, pre-trained models, you can leverage quickly this. Governance is more on the governance part of the model, how the model quality is, data quality, is there any drift, all of the information related to model. These two are part of governance. Ground truth is very important. This is where AWS has bunch of, let me see if this is, oh, it's taking too much time. Oh, it's starting. I'll come back to this, or maybe I'll quickly close this part. Ground truth has a list of people, like if you want to label your data, so you have a list of manual labor force where they can help you with the labeling of the data. So this is where the many things happens on the labeling, but this is a big ocean here itself. Notebook is what now we use Studio. Before that, people used to use Notebook. We can create a instance here. You can create a notebook instance, but here you specify option what notebook instance you want. There are few limitations with respect to this. One of the limitation is, let's say you are developing something, you need some temporary space to save your code artifacts. But let's say your server, you choose the server before itself. If something you want more memory, you have to turn off your shut down entire notebook, and then you have to upgrade the disk, and then you have to restart. That is not the case with Studio. Studio has a elastic file system, right? It's a elastic volume, so where you can enhance and decrease based on the way the data goes. That's one of the key difference. There are a lot of other depends. There is a debate again. Let's not worry. Amazon also strategically moving towards Studio, so Studio is the best place to proceed. And pre-processing any scripts which you have, or where data processing or feature engineering. Training, inference is for predictions. You train a model, you want to have a predictions, so this is the predictions. Edge manage for IoT devices, where you have something which you want to deploy on device like sensors. So this is what machine learning model to be deployed on those sensors. It has services related to this. This is again augmented AI is once you develop a model, deployed a model, and then someone has to review manual, right? This is the place. And marketplace is where, let's say you developed a model, but you want to also sell to other users. This is the place, marketplace. So to do that, to sell your model. So this is all. I think pretty much I covered in this area. Again, each and every tab which you see has got its own detailed explanation. We'll see how many things we can cover in this playlist, but I'll try to cover as much as possible, which required as a essential. All right, we are here in the SageMaker. The moment you log in, this is how the screen looks like. Quickly, again, it will take some time. Quickly, what I'll do is I'll import this notebook, getting started notebook. I just have to import this. Okay, click on import. Import, it will ask me to select the image, Docker image. I'll choose the data science. Some has a pre-installed libraries, kernel Python 3, and then I'll choose this instance. This is the type of machine server if you are new to AWS. So the machine to run this notebook, the one which you saw last instance type, right? So that's a machine, a server to run your notebook. So it has a RAM, it has a cores, it has processing power to, you can choose it again based on your limitation related to accounts. If you ever want to have a train your model on GPUs, CPUs, those information you can choose while running the notebook. That's where the code differentiator comes. You can, within one click, you can stop it and come back, and then if you want to retrain on something, something which is taking time to retrain, so you can come back and then change the instance type quickly. So this is the beauty of using SageMaker, services like a SageMaker. It will take little time again to now it's what is happening behind the scene. It is loading that image on that machine which you chose. Now what we'll do is we'll quickly understand this stuff which they have explained. Navigation, how do you navigate? This is the home, data. This is where if you click on this, the one notebook which I imported, this is where it's getting saved. If you have not imported, you will see nothing here. So this is the place, and this is the machine which is getting started. All the apps which you see, Docker image, the kernel, all of the things you can session which is getting executed. You will see in a moment once this gets attached, the one which is started, right? The once Docker image and the image and the server gets attached, you will see that kernel. This is for Git. If you have Git, this is again for in detail about AutoML. It's an ocean again. We'll come back to this in a while, or maybe we'll have a sessions on multiple sessions on this. How do you get and start? This is the market extension. If you have any extension community, third-party extensions, you can, if you want to use it, you can use this. But mostly what you see is you use this on this. Mostly you will use this. Plus, yeah, you can say that you also use this. But as of now, this session is focused on these two. Remember this. You have to turn off the kernel, shut down the machines. Which okay, it is coming now. It is booting. Come on, God. Yeah, as quickly. It is now. It is here. So this is the machine. This is the machine which our notebooks will get executed. It has a 2 vCPU plus 4 gigabytes RAM. So you will see data code is here, and all apps are getting here. So before I start, remember to close these things. Remember to close and shut down the notebook. Remember to close and shut down the notebooks. This is the first thing you have to do. Second thing is you have to also shut down this servers. When you click on this, shut down all, or else you will be charged, guys. Believe me, it's very difficult. You'll be surprised with the bill. All right, let's start. Whatever you see here, read it. It is very easy. The same thing, whatever I explained, it is the same thing. So let's execute. What they're doing is it's installing NumPy. NumPy is a numerical Python library, which if you're a data scientist, I'm sure you already know. This already, I guess, already there because we chose the pre-installed Docker. It's already there. It's also installing sklearn, some error, but nothing to be worried. This one again from SageMaker. Nothing to be worried. The code will execute. This is where they're installing, and basically it's importing the scikit-learn's train test function, dividing the data set, and then this is the data set they are reading from the SageMaker, right? And then this is the data. This is where the training is happening, machine learning training is happening, random forest regressor from scikit-learn model, and then finally they are saving the model. This is where you will see the model will be here. Soon you will see a model, yeah, you will see, because it's getting saved here locally. The data is also saved here, the one which we imported. It's a simple model, some with the predefined sklearn's data. So that's not the objective here. The objective was to how do you get started. If you want to have your own notebook, you can create that. We'll see in future session how do you create. Here you can see. You can also create many other things. We'll see in future, but it's basically a development environment wanted to have a getting started notebook. So please remember, once you have done this, please remember, follow these steps. These are very, very important. They have given the same steps what I'm explaining here as well. In the getting started notebook, you will see close and shut down notebook. This is the first thing you have to do. You also have to, once this is done, you have to come to these apps. You have to shut down all, which will shut down this Docker image. It will also shut down the it's gone. It will also shut down the kernel which was attached to this notebook which I imported. Close this. Now comes the important part. This will take time. Here is what we have. We have domain. When you go to domain, you will see this is the domain which is in service now. We have to delete this domain as well. Domain won't be deleted unless we delete these apps. See, this is the app which is still getting deleted. This is still not deleted. We have to delete this. Unless we don't delete, nothing, user won't be deleted. These are the apps. They have to be deleted first, and then we come here. It will not be deleted. It will not show you till it. So basically, you should see this is still getting deleted. It should be deleted. The status should go to deleted. Then only you would be able to see this go to users, and then click on delete user. Once you click on the delete user, then come back to this domain, click on edit, delete domain. You will see delete domain here. It is not enabled yet. The only reason is it is still in progress. Right, let's wait. Let's wait. It should go to deleted. Let's wait for a minute. Meanwhile, I'll let it show you. So I'll show you. There are a lot of things. If you go to configuration manager, you will see many examples. Many examples what exactly this configuration lifecycle means. You will see GitHub repositories as well corresponding to this, what all things you save. So well articulated documents are there with respect to SageMaker. So you basically, this is the script this is getting added in the beginning. So you see this register lifecycle configuration. So while using star, so some proxy setup, proxy related stuff which is getting booted when you start a SageMaker. This is one of the things. And then role manager, you already know. Let's see the domain once again. Sorry guys. So this hope it is deleted now. It is still. It is deleted now. It is says deleted. Now I can go and delete the user. Okay, now see, delete the user. Delete. Done. Now I can delete the domain. edit, delete the domain. It's very important. Many people get surprised in their bill. But again, if you do get surprised, contact support team. If you get bill which you are not expecting, contact AWS support team. Most of the time, if you are reading, if you are using AWS for reading purpose, and then you are not aware that what else service is running, so there is a high chance that they waive off that bill. But that's all. It is still in service. It will be deleted in a minute. That's all. Make sure that it is deleted. That's all, guys. Thank you for watching. See you in future videos about AWS SageMaker.